income. Okay, so both gone for the exact same factory, which is quite good because we can now actually, rather than look at the differences between the units they've chosen, just look at the actual differences in the choices they made. Okay, so they're both choosing wind, which I presume, yeah, is because the minimum that this wind generator can make is 1.15 wind because of the height. At sea level, well, not quite sea level, but it's 0.1 to 2.5, so much better on hills. And he has gone for an early constructor and a number of bandits, and so has Anir, with both essentially following very similar paths at the moment. So getting their radar in a good position, though it's not blocked by many hills. Making some bandits for quick raids. Anir's gone slightly more defensive with some Lotus Towers. And Anir's going for more bandits earlier on. Randy is switching into rogues slightly earlier. Randy is expanding quicker, so essentially Anir's going slower. He's put down a Lotus, which is about the price for a metal extractor, and Randy's just getting the metal extractor slightly quicker. They've both also gone for jumping commanders, the jump jet commanders. Randy's leveling his up, and let's have a look economy-wise. Yeah, I think at this point in the game, it's still a bit of bandit posturing, and Randy knows that Anir has more bandits, so I think it's strange for him to go into a rogue, because the bandits are just so good at avoiding the rockets and closing the distance and then DPSing down the rogues. So I think that's a mistake. Should have gone for more bandits, or if he was concerned about an attack, if you stick an outlaw on each of those, then it'll be very difficult for any bandits to come up. I wonder if any of the players will do that a bit later on if they're worried about a large raid, but I doubt they will from the map control they'll expect them to get. Okay, Randy's gone for a beam laser on his commander, which is quite strange. There's like nothing else, so he's just gone for the beam laser. So it's just a cheap level up. But it's more common to see heavy machine gun or the EMP weapon if it's that. Their commanders are actually quite close to each other now as well. Let's see. Yeah, so Nir hasn't leveled his. Okay, Nir's going for some more production, more constructors to boost his factory. He's also, it's like, got a very similar income, but he hasn't got as much energy income as Randy does. So again, we're in that situation where Randy actually has slightly less metal spots, but where he has a healthier energy income, he's got more overdrive. And he's also reclaiming at the moment. But all Anir needs to do is, yeah, just use constructors to build a few wind generators. I'd like to see more queued than that because they are quite cheap, and there is also the risk that the wind can drop to the lowest value, so it'd only be 1.1 still on the hill, but there's a big difference between 1.1 energy and 2.5. I'm just going to speed the game up and see if any happens. They're mostly stabilising. Randy's pushing quite heavily with his commander. which is very risky. Got some rogues. Yeah, that's mostly just turned into a skirmisher fight. Randy has mixed in some thugs, which just give a bit of a shield, which you can use as almost like flexible hit points for your rogues. They can intercept a few shots, keep them alive a little bit longer. But if you're against more rogues, then the rogues will eventually wear them down. And Randy's commander is very low now, so he's keeping it quite safe. But given the number of units he has, I think it's time for his commander to start leaving, and for him to start considering putting down a storage just in case, you know, a force does split off. Because Anir is still producing some bandits. Randy now is trying to, yeah, sort of recognise he's lost that front. Well, we can do that. And he's starting to open a new front, so using his lighter, faster units. But he's running into some good, sort of solid defence from Anir, so he's not getting much back. And another thing, when you're in a skirmisher battle, vision is so valuable. If one of the parties mixed in, for example, a Vandal, so that's the anti-air for shield bots, anti-air units tend to have a really great line of sight, so you can mix a single one in just purely for vision, but they are very flimsy, so they're liable to get knocked out quite easily. Okay. Job from Anir to focus down the Lotuses and the Constructors. So just pushing that economy back, and now Anir's economy is taking the clear lead, so this all looks fairly... Yeah, I'd like to see Anir get this income and reclaim this quicker, because he is stalling on income and he's got the safety to do so at the moment. Oh yeah, he has also killed Randy's commander, so he should capitalise on that while he can. While this area, he controls it vastly. His commander's got a jump, there you go, he's starting to reclaim it. Rather than that Stinger. Stinger against rogues isn't too bad, but it only takes a couple of rogues to really kill it. Now Randy just probing for any weak points, any extra income he can kill. So now Anir should have a very good idea that he's ahead economically. And he's starting his second factory. So yeah, around 10-minute mark, so that's not too uncommon in a 1 versus 1. Randy's starting his second factory as well, but he's going for jump jets. Yeah. I don't think anything really gives you the same flexibility as the air factory does as a second factory, unless it's on a water map. But even then, I'd still... You can't really go wrong with starting an air factory and making either some ravens, or if it's a map where wind is preferred, like this one, a phoenix or two, you can just hit the energy income pretty hard. Just going to speed it up again. Okay, yep, gone for Phoenix as well. That's a good choice on the front line because rogues are not high health units. Randy went for a Firewalker, which is basically the ground unit version of the Phoenix. But I would like to see Anir go a bit more for Randy's economy. Take out his overdrive, because he's already going to... His income's already better than Randy, so if he trades 1 for 1 on the front lines, or even if he trades slightly worse than 1 for 1, he can still replace his units quicker. But if you hit the economy and still go 1 for 1, then you know, there's only so much Randy will be able to keep up. So I think that's something that could have ended this game quicker. Yeah, see Randy's pretty much stopped using his... Oh no, he's still producing out of his jump jet factory, just small for the odd auxiliary. Whereas Anir's switching to air is a lot more dedicated. He's got a lot more units dedicated purely. And he's now caused Randy to spend a lot of money, over, probably around 2,000 metal worth in total now on anti-air. Maybe not quite that much, but approaching it. So I'd almost say just don't produce any more, just use the ones that you have. You have to focus on your ground factory. Yeah, you can see my computer doesn't like running it at full speeds. Yeah, this is again one of those times where just a bit too scared for the player that's ahead to fully commit, rather than keeping these units on attack move, just manually walk them a bit closer, give them a bit more vision. Okay, yeah, because this single rogue is just stopping, 13 or so of Anir's units from pushing up. So.